get going here. So my name is Jennifer Frye. I am the CEO of a business called Appreciated Asset Business Solutions. We've been in business for about 5 years. I'm really excited to talk to you guys at 1 Million Cups because the 1 Million Cups mission and foundation is really very well aligned with our mission and foundation, which is to be a resource for business owners. So I really love the communities that we've been visiting, and I've had the opportunities to speak really across the country about our service and the way we support small business. So the next slide is going to tell you a little bit about me. Again, we started this business, if you don't mind, there you go. We started in 2018. This fall will be 5 years after really spending my entire career in business development. During that time, I developed an expertise in strategy, messaging, and implementation. So what I really worked on doing is training teams in that strategy and implementation, specifically focusing on cold calling and top of the funnel sales activities, focused on really targeted prospecting. So originally I am from Boston, but I moved here to Charleston, South Carolina from Manhattan several years ago and live here with my son, Max, who will be 9 on Saturday. I'm still not quite accepting that fact, but here we are. And we really enjoy everything that Charleston has to offer as often as we can. So the next slide talks a little bit about what things look like now. A lot of times when businesses come to us, they have grown their business to a certain point with word of mouth and referral. And to be fair, I've grown quite a bit of my business that way too. And it's a great way to grow your business because you get all of this new business opportunities coming towards you. But what I found is that takes you to a certain level and it begins to either plateau or it slows down, or you are getting referrals and you're getting people, reaching out to you via word of mouth that they've heard of you that way. But what's happening is that they're not necessarily the right fit for you anymore. And, as you elevate your business and you grow your business, you tend to get a little more targeted on those ideal clients that you serve and that you really want to serve going forward. So what most business owners do at that point is they go to marketing to create awareness and to get in front of those ideal customers. So they do the things like the ads and the funnels, the DMs, the constant hamster wheel of content creation, which, as we all know, on all of the socials can get quite overwhelming and really feel like that job is never done. But what's still not happening is they're not getting a pipeline that's filled with those ideal prospects. So what we do is we come in and we create intentional growth for our clients. We do that through a very targeted sales strategy where if you could flip over, what we do is we go ahead and create, build, and fill your sales pipeline. So our solution is called our Sales Accelerator. And what we offer is a concierge level done for you appointment setting service where we set new business appointments for our clients with their prospect wish list. But we work consultatively. So rather than calling from your business, pitching you, selling you, pretending we work for you, we call from Appreciated Asset and we recommend you. We talk about your value proposition and your success metrics and all the things that make you you. Most importantly, we talk about what makes you disruptive, because we realized last year that we knew we were disruptive. I've been called disruptive my entire life, not usually as a compliment. But now we really have been able to take that and harness that as our superpower. So we've developed something called our Disruptor Designer, because as much as we were disruptive, we realized that we got the best results and we aligned and collaborated best with other businesses that were equally disruptive in their own industries. But some businesses want to be disruptive and they don't know how. Some businesses are like us and they know it and they're bold with it and they stand out and they want to stand away from the status quo. And then there's some businesses that already are disruptive, but they're being far too humble in that messaging to really get that across to those ideal users. Because at the end of the day, being 5% cheaper or 10% faster is such a snooze fest, it never will get you the traction or the attention from those ideal clients. So we created their Disruptor Designer, where we take our clients through our onboarding session, during our onboarding session, a series of messaging exercises where we really help define that disruptive feature that you have, something that helps you stand so far away from the status quo, from the industry standard, that you're comparing apples to oranges at this point. There would be no one else to go with. And then we create a script and we write the script. It's like a choose your own adventure, if you guys remember those books from when we were kids. So in our script, what we do is we have your prospects self-identify their worry points, as well as their objections before they have a chance to raise them. When we do that, we create a completely different dynamic in the conversation, from that cringy sales volley back and forth that no one wants to be on either side of that conversation, to just an actual consultative educational conversation where we are letting people know about badass solutions that they have to know about. And we know they have to know about it because we've already identified that they're an ideal prospect for you. And then we create, build, and fill your sales pipeline with those new business opportunities. So that's who we are and what we do. On the next slide talks about our ideal clients. We work with B2B service-based businesses, coaches, and consultants, as well as home service businesses. We do the home service business, helping them kind of build out their commercial business, right? So picture a pressure washer. Rather than going from residential home to residential home, what we're doing is we're getting them set up with property managers and apartment complexes, garage structures, things like that for much larger jobs. We work with businesses that are established, they're growing, and they want to continue that growth trajectory. Businesses that yield at least $10,000 in annual revenue when they sign a new business client. Businesses that are bringing in anywhere from $500,000 in annual revenue to $10 million in annual revenue. And we actually have to update this because we just signed our largest client to date. So that will be coming soon for you with a much larger number for that range. And then really the best psychographic for us are businesses that are disruptive or want to be. And on the next slide, it talks about the three-tiered approach that we have. So we have our onboarding where we take our clients through the disruptor designer, we write the script, and we create that list of ideal prospects. Then we go into into launch, where we do the training and consistent modifications in collaboration with our partners and our clients as we go to make any adjustments we need to either the message or the list. And then we go into maintenance, which is basically account management, and we are consistently creating and filling that sales pipeline. We can do things like beta testing on different, areas. If you want to expand geographic location or a new service, new vertical market, perhaps, rather than getting your whole sales team on board, we can do some beta tests for you with our service, and just continuous lead evolution, where we will constantly be looking to find new ways that we can expand out your business growth in a very intentional way. So that's who we are, what we do. The last slide is just a little bit of contact info if you need to reach us, and I will take any questions or comments.
I'm going to stop sharing the screen. If you, as far as that contact information, Dale has put the website in there also. As far as for the site, but feel free, Jennifer, also to drop your information in the chat.
Well,
so questions for Jennifer. Huba, jump on in. For some reason, I can't hear you, Huba. Yeah, come on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay, we're good.
All right. How about now?
Yeah.
Hi from a former Charleston resident as well. Okay. You should, if you haven't so, you should reach out to the local 1 Million Cups group, which is absolutely fantastic.
it
Thomas
is.
Heath is a good friend. Yeah. So 2 questions. One is, what are the tactics that you use for generating those new opportunities? Is this I guess it's not, but is this a lead gen service, or is it more of a one-to-one kind of thing that you use for developing those new opportunities? And my second question is, what is your challenge today, and what took you to this process? So I'm asking you to open up a little bit and tell us, what has been your experience, and what are the challenges that you're facing today to grow your own business, right?
Yeah, appreciate that. So the first question, I would say we would certainly fall under the umbrella of lead generation, but what we do is very specialized. And so it is high touch, it is concierge level. I consider us more of a boutique agency within that realm, where most lead gen is filled with headsets and robocallers and auto dialers. And, we don't really work like that. Not really. We don't work like that at all. So, our approach is always very targeted. We don't buy lists, and I don't recommend anyone does, whether you work with us or not. Don't do it. Everything we do, we create ideal demographics and then scrub those against ideal psychographics, which takes quite a bit of time and research on our end, but it's absolutely worth it, because we know that not only are we getting you in front of the right business parameters, by parameter, but also that they are like-minded and like-hearted. And that's also very important when entering a new business relationship. In terms of challenges that we've had, I would say, the Disruptor Designer has really helped us refine messaging challenges that we were facing, and creating messages that were compelling for businesses to take that next level conversation. There have been some team challenges and finding the right team members, because this is really not for everyone. What we do is pretty intense. Our callers make between 200 and 250 calls a day. It's a lot of work. And, we want them making call 200 with the same enthusiasm that they make call number 1. So that's been a challenge. And, right now I would say, and this kind of folds into my ask for the group today, is I am looking to really expand out our national presence, specifically with the home services sector, which obviously there's a ton of verticals within that. And I would love to hear anyone's experience or recommendations on creating a marketing strategy to accomplish that and to accomplish some national presence.
Okay.
Anyone?
Yeah, I will interject. As far as the home services, I want to clarify this, Jennifer. When you talk about home services earlier in the presentation, it sounded like you were talking to businesses about people that, companies that service homes and residential, and maybe expanding their services into commercial.
Correct.
Am I hearing that right? Okay. So are you looking for people that really are providing home services so that you can migrate them to commercial, or is the idea that they'd still be doing residential, but also just adding in the commercial?
Yeah, we're not trying to take away any piece of their business. We're trying to add it with a strategy to implement a B2B direction.
Got it. Okay. Because it does seem like right now, home service companies seem to be, in demand, as far as just from a business investing standpoint. It seems like when you look at valuations, those seem to be on the rise, any sort of home service business. So it does seem like a good place to be involved with. But there's, I'm wondering, as far as right now, because they're top of mind for a lot of investment firms out there, I'm wondering if there's like firms that support holding companies or angel investment firms that might be looking, very intently at home service businesses right now. And maybe that might be an avenue to take a look at, or does that, I don't know if you've looked at some sort of partner organizations that get you in front of those organizations or not. That's just what comes to mind for me.
That makes a lot of sense. And we actually use some similar strategies for our clients. And that didn't even occur to me. I love that. Thank you.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, because I know that I just recently I was talking to someone who was at a conference for holding companies, and they had said that home services were, I think the term they used, the belle of the ball for investors right now. So to quote them.
If you
But,
don't mind, you don't
yeah,
mind,
go ahead, Joe.
what kind of specific home services that are really, do you have like one example of like what's really getting like investor minds with home service? I can't even.
Well, this would be, for example, painting, roofing, floor installation, bathroom remodel, any sort of contractor-based service, not necessarily like
Right.
cleaning homes or anything, but a lot of the contractor-based ones, especially ones that are reoccurring, like vent cleaning or HVAC service or plumbing especially.
Yeah, trade services are
Really are getting like really interest from investor. Okay.
Yeah, because you get a lot of times you go through phases with industries where there's a lot of smaller ones and people starting up their own business, or there's a lot of this going on in the professional service space over the last couple of years because of COVID. But also
Right.
in the home service space, people say, "Oh, I've broken off and started my own business," but it's like 10 people or a small company, and then you go through this phase where investors are interested in there, and you get industry roll-up periods.
So,
And that drives valuations up.
and Jennifer, you're essentially looking at the same thing then, is finding those companies that are right at we've done the home services for my 10 friends or whatever, my neighbors and family, and I have now 10 employees, but like, let's make this statewide or national or brand it and franchise it. Okay, that's cool. Okay.
what I have found, and this has really been about the last 6 months of our business, we've seen this really explode. And what I found that there's really two different types of owners in this industry or these industries. So you have either a tradesman who has built a business from their expertise, and then you have a business owner who purchased a home service business.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
So the tradesmen, in my experience, tend to be struggling with team building, hiring, being
Market.
beyond capacity. They don't want any more business, take any more business, like they're stressed. And then the business owner who purchased the business has this mindset, get it to us and we'll figure it out.
Right.
It's a very different mindset. So that's kind of what we've seen. And we want to help businesses grow that fall on either side, businesses that want to grow.
So when you think of like inside of this like that general industry and all the different trades that could fall under it, like what makes a good like disruptor in your mind?
Yeah. So when's the last time this conversation is definitely a hard left, but I love it. For as a homeowner, there is very few things more frustrating than calling someone trying to give my money to them for a service that I need. Don't get a call back, or you finally do after multiple calls, and then they don't, or they show up late and you've already had to leave, and trying to coordinate. So I would say the first disruptive feature are businesses that show up on time, have map texting where they'll say your driver's on their way. You can follow them along, have that constant communication. That's very, but basically what we look at, how are you better? What's standard in your industry? And you're like, yeah, we don't do it like that. Those are the businesses that opt outside of status, and they're not afraid to make waves. They're not afraid to rock the boat. And if I've used any other cheesy examples here, but they want to be bold. And they want to say, we don't do it like that. We give, we upgrade to premium materials even when we don't need to, but because it's the right thing to do. That's another great example.
Yeah, we had, I don't know if this is an example or not, but there was one time we worked with a client in a previous company that I had. We had a client that they had, they're fairly well-to-do. One of their homes was a really gorgeous house over by Volunteer Park. And what they were looking for was essentially a general contractor to act as almost like a property management company, but not exactly. Like they wanted somebody where they said, take care of our house as if it was your own. And they would coordinate all the trades. And they did it was a total white glove service. And they took care of everything, for that client. And so it seemed like that was at the time, the feedback I got from the client was that was a hard service to find, somebody that would take care of your house, that wasn't a large property management company, but was able to step in and take care of your home as essentially a general contractor.
It's like a concierge level.
Yeah,
general, right?
exactly. Like it wasn't like they were hiring them to, in a few months, I'm going to hire you for this project and you take care of it start to finish. A lot of general contractors do that. It was more like, you are my general contractor month to month. And whatever project comes up, whatever maintenance should be done, you just handle it.
Yeah, it's like a retainer.
Yeah, exactly. Concierge, like Jennifer said.
Yeah.
It's like the concierge doctor service that,
Yep.
but for your home.
I'm curious. So you highlighted that list of ideal clients, right? And I think the last bullet item was disruptors, right? So you're looking for people who are disruptors. I'm curious about the issues that you kind of see surface as you have that initial disruptor conversation with the client. What are things that they're sort of struggling with, and then how much of what you do kind of plays in that space with the business to help them kind of reframe, see things differently versus I'm just going to take what you've got off the shelf and market that. How much is like actually helping people kind of reimagine how they approach their space?
Yeah. So the first question is kind of what comes up with that. I have yet to come across or have that one-on-one with someone who says that they don't want to be disruptive to their industry, that they don't want to, because I think it's more that we're pretty bold and clear that that's who we work with and who we want to work with. So I don't really attract people who want to stay meek. But like I said, a lot of people are already disruptive in their service and their offering, but they're not bold enough about the messaging for it. So what we do is we take through that disruptor designer messaging session. It's a series of exercises and questions that we take our clients through that are going to ask them things about their business in ways that they have never been asked before. We ask from all different angles. We have different team members that would be relevant to the conversation on the call. So it is, again, a collaboration. And it's just a series of finding out not just what makes you different, what's different from the status quo, but also like, why are you doing this? And we do a lot of work around mission, vision, values, because I think that's really important as well. When we ground ourselves to our clients and understand their why. And in fact, we share with them our mission, vision, values on the call often, because I think it's important that we both are on the same page with why we are doing what we are doing. And then, from there, we just work on more kind of messaging and delivery and get really, really specific and understanding mostly, why does this matter to that end user? You can have all the messaging points in the world, but what does this, it's that whole, what's in it for me, right? we really frame so much of our messaging around this matters to you because
Hmm.
fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
have a,
Oh, you can go ahead.
no, finish your thought. But,
It was a follow-up question, if that's all right.
Yeah.
And it's really about, so like if you work with an organization, right, who's like working to kind of step into that disruptor space, really own that, what I would expect there might be challenges then with those organizations to kind of like live into this messaging that's been created, right? Like becoming disruptive externally
Mhm.
requires disruption internally, right? Change and evolution and new perspectives and beliefs and ways of showing up and leading your organization. Is that like, I'm curious how that plays in, if there have been challenges with organizations maybe not being able to like really own that space that's been kind of messaged for them. Curious, like the kind of downstream.
So, when by the time companies come to us and want to work with us and are ready to work with us, they've done it the other way for a really long time. And they realize that it's stale. And they realize that they've kind of plateaued in what that can bring for them, what that can create for them. So I think there is a sense of readiness for the entire team and a sense of excitement. But remember, we are the ones presenting this script outwards. So what a lot of times happens is they take our messaging and they will incorporate it into their current marketing messaging as well, because we want to complement that existing marketing strategy, right? Marketing is all about creating awareness, putting it out there, getting top of mind awareness. What we do, again, is a very targeted outbound strategy. But what I also think is that with that readiness, they're set up with a warm conversation of someone who's already geared up, excited, and has bought into, yes, I want to spend more time learning about this. So they know they have someone interested in learning why they're different on the call. And so it empowers them to have that. That was a great question. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Jennifer, I'm curious about something and wanted to ask you, is the disruption finder means for standardizing your business and creating processes around, standardized processes that are repeatable around the way you do things, right? One thing. And the second one is it also a marketing tool that you utilize to, go through that disruption finder, and with that, kind of like hook the client with your services? Is that what you do?
Well, I think, again, using the language around disruption and disruptors is pretty sexy for the right client. And so I think, yes, it does attract a client who's like-minded and like-hearted to want to learn more. It was developed to improve our service and to improve our delivery and our messaging. But what's happened since then is, whereas our sales accelerators, that done for you service where we do the script, we do the list, and we do the outbound calling to set the appointments, we also from that now offer a done with you service called our Disruptor Designer Messaging Session, which is a 2-hour messaging session and sales training where it's a done with you. We will write the script and we will create the list. And then we give all of that information along with the sales training to the team and have them do the work. Look, what I do, it's not brain surgery, right? Anyone can do it. It's just most people would choose not to pick up the phone and make a cold call. So what happened was we had been speaking with a couple prospects who said, man, I really want to do this, but I don't have the revenue. Call me back in 90 days. And then guess what? I'd call back in 90 days and they go, yeah, still no, let's give it another 90 days. And well, if you're not going to do anything different in the next 90 days, we're going to keep having the same conversation every quarter. I mean, this is.
I hear you. Yeah.
So what I said is, we can give you the tools to do this yourself and do it successfully, and go out and get some new business. And then in 2 or 3 months or 5 months, whatever, if you want us to take it over, we can do that. And I will tell you, we have about a 50% rate of clients who go through this exercise and go through this program and then do come on board as done for you clients. So yeah, that's pretty much, what we have for, I guess, marketing, but it's really an opportunity for us to give the tools to people, create that success on their own if they can't commit to work in our ongoing program.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I will say, Jennifer, I have in my current business, I'm working with a consultant. It's similar to what you provide, similar service, that type of thing. I'm a big fan, and I have a consulting business, and I firmly agree or firmly believe that, like, if I need help, I'm going to bring in a consultant. It'd be silly for me to say, oh, you should bring in me as a consultant, but I don't use consultants, right? Like obviously I do, but and one of the things that, just a bit of feedback, when I was presented with options of like hey, we're going to get you set up with some stuff and then you run with it, you do it on your own, or we're going to do it with you, and kind of work collaboratively, and you're going to be doing some stuff, we're going to be helping you do it, or the done for you, like you mentioned, like that all in. But having those different options available to me, I think is really great. And I'm not sure if all marketing companies or lead generation companies do that. But I do appreciate having the different options of like what level I want to be involved with the process and how much time I have to commit to it. Some variables in there. I really appreciate having options around that.
Great.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments for Jennifer before we wrap up the Q&A? Okay. Great job with the presentation. By the way, Jennifer, I'm going to go back to, hold on, for just a few slides. Hold on,
I think the only one I would throw out for Jennifer is, what can 1 million cups do for you? I think you've gotten that question because it sounds like you've been to the Charleston one before.
Yeah.
We are also in growth mode. So we are looking to find more businesses that we can serve and that we can help them grow in whatever way makes sense for them. And also, again, with I'll just go back to, really, I am looking for advice to create a strategy to bring in more home services on a national level. We work with businesses nationally. We actually work with a couple international clients as well. But I would be open to any feedback or advice as to how to bring this in front of that demographic on a national level.